Hi, I'm Beth from Sew Country, and today's tutorial is for these project packs from J&R Edwards. Now J&R Edwards is doing two different types of project packs. One will be this bin, this is called the Basic Bee Bin, and the other one will be for placemats. In the project pack, you'll get everything you need to make two of these bins or two of the placemats, whichever one you choose. You'll also get to choose which fabrics you want. I think they have 4 different versions that you can choose from, so you can get whatever print you like best. But this is a really quick pattern. It comes together super fast and it's just great for storage. I honestly think that what I'm going to use mine for is for decorations for upcoming holidays. I think they'll just be cute to sit around, put candy or treats in there, and just have them out as a display. So the pattern for this Basic Bee Bin is from Wondering Soul Stitch, and it will be included in the project pack at J&R Edwards. So you get everything you need to make 2 of these when you buy the project pack. So we're going to go through this one really quick. I'm not doing the placemat on camera, but if you wanted to see that, I could. I just felt like that one was even easier than this one and didn't need video for it, but let me know. But for this one, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. These project packs are available now. I'm going to have the link in my description, and you can find all of the information in that link. So for this one, I'm picking this print. I've already interfaced the back with fleece, which does come in the project pack. I also have the lining. Now for me, this lining is sturdy enough that I'm not going to add anything on the back to it. If you felt you needed to, you could, but I don't feel like it is. It is a great feel of fabric and it's stiff enough on its own. So when you get your project pack, you'll cut out the supplies you need for one. The pattern is included in the project pack. It tells you the measurements you need to cut out your 2 pieces. After you cut out your pieces, you'll add your interfacing. The next thing you'll do to get these going is you're going to lay down your exterior. You want to make sure you have your print orientated the right way so that for this one it is directional, so I want the print to be going down. I'm going to take my lining and I'm going to match up the long edges. I'm going to turn this to the side so you can see this is the long edge versus the short edge. So the long edge is what we'll be sewing together first. So you can add some clips there if you need to, but just make sure that you match up this long edge. This is actually going to be the top of your bin. So for the directional prints, you definitely want this sewn edge to be going the right way. Put a few clips in here, and I'm just going to sew this with the seam allowance given in that pattern in the project pack. We will just start sewing on one of the long ends, backstitch, going all the way down to the other. Now that I've got that long edge sewn together, you can finger press it or use a seam roller or even take it over to the iron. If you do take it over the iron, be careful, because if you would just hit your iron right here on this fleece, it could cause it to melt. So if you iron, make sure you just have the iron on the seam itself, whichever way you feel comfortable with. So I'm just going to press it open with my fingers. I'm okay with it just not being perfect. Now at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to have that seam right in the middle. And then I'm going to take the bottom and just fold it right sides together. So the exterior pieces will be together, the lining pieces will be together. That seam will be right in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and clip that seam together. And I'm just going to put a clip here and a clip on this other side. And this is what we have now. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to sew from this side back stitch all the way over to the other side and back stitch. You're making a tube. The ends will both be left open and we will have that tube there. So let's go ahead and sew this seam with the seam allowance given in the pattern. Now I have a tube and it looks like this. What I want to do for me is I'm going to have this laying flat, and I'm going to put a clip here in the bottom right there to mark where that bottom is, because I'm going to push these seams together and that just helps me to know where I'm pushing it to. So now what I'll do is I will put my hands inside here and just open it up, leaving it right sides together, but taking this seam and laying it right where I made that clip so that the seam is completely centered. At this point, again, you can iron this seam flat. You can use a seam roller or you can finger press it. Again, if you iron over here with the fleece, you've got to be really careful that you don't melt that fleece and make a big mess. So, same thing here. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the pattern measurements to make squares here to cut out so I can box my corners. So I went ahead and I drew on the squares using the measurements given the pattern. I drew 1, 2 on the exterior, 1, 2 on the lining. So the next thing I'll do is I'm just going to cut these squares out. And I went ahead and cut the corners out off camera. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. What I'll do now is I'm just going to sew with the seam allowance given in the pattern down this seam. So what I'll do is I'll back stitch here, begin sewing just a little bit to leave an opening. So I'll back stitch again here, break my stitches, come down here, back stitch, sew again, back stitch to the end. So we're going to leave a little bit of an opening on the lining side. On the exterior, you just back stitch, go all the way down, back stitch again with the seam allowance given the pattern, and that is done for that one. So now that I have those seams sewn, all you do is you just open it up and you are going to match it up. If you get confused, mark that center so that you know where to put your seam. The seam is going to go in the center. So I can see it clearly because there's a crease there, but if you can't, put a clip there or make a little mark so that you know where your seam goes. I'm just going to clip these edges together and then I'll sew them straight across with the seam allowance given in the pattern. I'm not going to do all of these on camera. I'll just show you one, but we will do all 4 to finish that. So after I get that clipped, I just take it over and sew straight across, and I will repeat that for the other one in the exterior and both of them in the lining. I went ahead and boxed all 4 corners and I left the opening in the lining. So what I'll do now is I'll just turn this all the way out and we'll finish up this bin. I'm going to go ahead and close up this hole in the lining right away. Push in those raw edges and put a clip here and just sew about 1/8 of an inch. You can hand sew this if you don't want your stitches showing, but it doesn't bother me. Now that I have that gap closed in the lining, I'm going to push the lining inside the exterior. Poke out my corners. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch away all around this exterior. Now I'm going to have my lining to where it is not showing from the exterior and just a little bit tucked in. So I'm going to do that all the way around the perimeter of this bag. I'm going to sew it from the exterior side just so I can make sure that my lining is staying down and I can get an even stitch all the way across the top of this bag. This is the way your bin's going to look. What we do now is we just roll down the top. You can roll it down as much as you want, just so it looks super cute and you have that lining peeking through. Straighten everything out. Now what I will do is I will take this over to the iron. Not only will I make sure I iron it flat, but I will also kind of put a little bit of a crease right here. You can even just do this with clips and just clip it overnight, but you want to try to get those corners to really know how they want to lay so you get a really nice sharp corner there for your little bin. But the iron will do it just fine if you do that. So this is the way it'll look once you iron it out. You'll have those really nice sharp corners and it'll be super cute. So these project packs are available at J&R Edwards, everything included, to make 2 of these. You will find the link for the project packs in my description. Make sure you check them out. There will be several different prints there for you to choose from, and when you get one, Be sure to post the pictures after you make yours in the J&R Edwards group. Tag me in there. I'll be watching for them. But these are just a fun way for Christmas gifts, for decorations, for just you to use around the house or anything. They're super cute. There will be some non-Halloween Christmas ones in case you don't celebrate those holidays. Thank you so much again for watching. I hope you have a great day sewing. And if you have any questions or anything you want me to sew next, just let me know. And I hope you have a wonderful day creating whatever you're making in your sewing room.